Life during the coronavirus pandemic has created many challenges for lots of people, one of which is rising prices of American staples like meat. If this is hitting your pocketbook or you are looking for a meat alternative anyway, stick around. Hi, I'm Dr. Morale, internal medicine doctor and obesity medicine specialist, and this is Dr. Morale Weighs In, where I weigh in on topics related to weight management, drawn from my own lifelong struggle with weight, as well as my professional experience as an obesity medicine physician. Today, I'm weighing in on a very specific topic: how to make your own protein supplement from milk. It sounds complicated, but it's not. I'm going to show you how to make what Little Miss Muffet never got to finish while sitting on her tuffet: her curds and whey. We can find curds in many different forms in the grocery store, including cheese, cottage cheese, and yogurt, and my personal favorite, hailing from South Asia, paneer. So let's get started. First, the ingredients. I like to use 1% organic milk from Costco. The only other ingredient is vinegar. I use 2/3 of a cup of vinegar for 1 gallon of milk. Other tools that you will need are a pot, a stirring spoon, a cheesecloth, and a colander. I do this a lot, so I have a tofu press to press out all the liquid whey. First, we put the milk to boil. For a gallon of milk that just came out of the fridge, it usually takes anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes. So while we wait for the milk to boil, here's a little more information about milk. 20% of the protein in milk is whey protein, whereas 80% of the protein in milk comes from casein. Whey protein is the main ingredient in a lot of protein powders because it absorbs very quickly and it dissolves in water very well. Casein usually takes longer to digest and absorb, and some feel that this is a quality that makes it more filling. Once you see the lid of the pot rising just a little bit, it's probably a good idea to remove it so the milk doesn't boil over. By boiling the milk, the heat makes the casein proteins bend out of their normal shape. Adding acid in the form of vinegar makes this change even more significant, and then the casein starts to come out of the solution. As we stir in the vinegar, you can see this happening, and the milk separates into curds and whey. It's easy to get whey and whey protein confused. Whey is the combination of water, lactose, and whey protein that separates from the milk solids after we add the vinegar. Whey protein is 20% of the total protein in the milk that stays dissolved in the liquid whey even after adding the vinegar. All the white stuff is the curds, which is the casein protein and the fat. Making curds from low-fat milk allows us to separate the casein protein from the whey, which contains almost all of the carbohydrate in the form of lactose. What remains is basically all protein. Now that the curds and whey have separated in the pot, it's time to separate them permanently. I usually let the separated milk cool for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I pour it into my cheesecloth, which I've placed in my colander. Over the years, I found the best cheesecloths to be cotton pillowcases. I use the corners because they fit really well into the colander. After we've poured the curds and whey into the cheesecloth, we need to strain the excess whey. If you squeeze the curds by hand, make sure the curds and whey have cooled sufficiently because it can be very hot and you want to be careful not to burn yourself. After squeezing out most of the whey by hand, you've probably removed about 80% of the carbs from the milk. To strain off the whey, you have 3 options. One is to take the curds wrapped up in the cheesecloth and hang them so that gravity pulls the whey off of the curds over about 1 to 2 hours. Option 2, you can put the curds wrapped up in the cheesecloth again between 2 cutting boards and then put a weight on top of that and let it sit for about an hour. Or 3, you could use a tofu press, which is basically a vise. With a press, you have a little more control about how dry or moist you want the end product to be. After good pressing, you can cut the paneer into cubes or you can leave it as crumbles, whatever you desire. but I do recommend storing it in an airtight container so it doesn't dry out in the fridge. If you eat it plain, it really doesn't taste like anything. It's mainly just a texture, which is actually pretty great. It's almost like an empty flavor canvas. You can put whatever flavorings and seasonings you want on it and add it to your meal to make it a complete dish. I often add it to vegetables that I cook in the air fryer. Here is a dish I made with just 5 ingredients: bell pepper, onion, garlic salt, tahini seasoning, and about 3 ounces of high protein paneer, which gave me almost 20 grams of protein in this dish. In terms of nutrition information, 1 gallon of milk makes about 19 ounces or 550 grams of paneer. 1 ounce or 28 grams is about 47 calories, 2 grams of fat, 1 gram of carbs, 6 grams of protein. Ounce for ounce, it's about the same amount of calories per gram of protein as grilled pork chop or grilled fish. And from a cost perspective, at about 15 cents per ounce, it's less than half the cost of chicken or pork and about 1/3 the cost of lean ground beef. If you use skim milk instead of 1% milk, the end product is about the same amount of protein, but with less calories. The nutrition information for 1 ounce of skim milk paneer is 28 calories, 0 grams of fat, 1 gram of carbs, and 6 grams of protein. The yield is about the same as 1% milk, the only difference being that the 1% milk yields a slightly softer product. So remember 3 easy steps. Boil the milk, add the vinegar, and strain off the whey. And voila, you have made your own high protein supplement from milk. That about wraps it up for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please add them in the comments section below. And as always, if you like the content, please do like and subscribe. This channel is really meant for our community to stay well despite the challenges of coronavirus and beyond. Thank you.